Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wrestling with the Paranormal. Today we are talking UFOs versus the military. Oh, this will be a good one. Where did the enlightened one go? He was here a second ago.
What?
Yeah,
Did you take a nap and miss him?
I missed the enlightened one again.
Every time.
Yeah, jeez.
He's got something really important to tell you, too.
Yeah, what?
I don't know. It's something enlightened.
Oh, you're not enlightened enough, so he's not going to tell you.
No, I'm just Craig the Gray here on Wrestling with the Paranormal, doing the show that we do on Sundays. We got our shirts up behind us. Right there with the logo. And the logo's up in the corner of the screen over there. And on the Enlightened One's shirt there, Aaron's got boom! Wrestling with the Paranormal. Get yourself a t-shirt.
Oh, you got me. Oh, you got me.
Oh, today's a fire, red hot episode. We're talking about UFOs, the military, mysterious things going on.
So yeah, it's going to be a good episode. It's interesting to note that whenever there's conflict, G.I. Joe was there. I mean, the UFOs are there. Remember that?
Right.
G.I. Joe, wherever there's conflict, G.I. Joe. Yeah.
So UFO rhymes with G.I. Joe. Connections.
Cobra was an alien. We got to move in here. Got to zoom in here. See these beautiful.
Boom, bam,
my face.
Bam, right in the face.
Just hit the screen like that.
Okay, so we're going to launch into a story about potentially the U.S. military fighting UFOs. Okay, it's a big story, and then we're gonna talk about some other military related things. Okay, maybe
All
to
right,
do with
so,
UFOs. Maybe
so. 2 years, two years after World War II.
World War II.
Captain Helga is from Iceland. They were hunting whales, which is not cool today. But anyways, they're hunting whales in Antarctica. Don't mind him; he's just smelling stuff. He's got a smelling.
I'm smelling chocolate to make sure that I don't have COVID, because when you get COVID, you lose your smell. So I'm constantly.
I'm good. As long as I smell stuff.
Okay, I'm good. I'm still healthy. I'm okay.
So he's in Antarctica, and he's got his whole team with him, and they're hunting whales. And the thing about Antarctica is it's daylight all the time, and so they're all tired, and they're looking out, and all of a sudden they think they see a German U-boat, which is a submarine. And,
Whoa.
and so they're all of a sudden they're panicking because they're like, they didn't see the swastikas or anything like that, but you recognize a German U-boat from the lines, and they're pretty familiar with it, right? And so they're getting ready to surrender because there's no winning against a submarine. They don't have any guns. And so the Germans come aboard, and they got their guns, they got their bunch of soldiers, and they don't commandeer the boat. They say nicely, but in a sort of a threatening way, listen, we would like half your supplies, and we're willing to pay for it. And they give them American money, which I find strange.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in Iceland. They're Germans, so they're giving them American money, and they give them more than enough to cover some bonuses in case they don't get any whales, and they even tell them where to find some whales. So
Okay, but this is extra strange because it's 2 years after the war, and the German military should be decommissioned by this time. So
Yeah,
why did they have a U-boat by Antarctica?
exactly. And obviously they were pretty hurting for supplies to commandeer. Uh,
As if they'd been out there for months or years, even or something.
yeah, but they're like, in case we see some boats, we got our American money, we can get them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's an interesting one. So, uh, December 2nd, 1946, uh, they start an expedition. Um, they set off from Norfolk, Virginia, an operation called High Jump. And it's vessels that are getting sent to the Arctic Circle to do some experiments and stuff like that.
And this is right after the war too, right?
Yeah, this is up to the war. I think it's probably 2 years or 3 years
so
after
at the
that
same
other
time.
event. So they're getting sent there to do some experiments. And they say some bad weather sent them home right away. But all of a sudden, the country Chile, is posting in the media that UFOs or unknown objects were attacking the U.S. vessels. And it gets out, and um, I guess the they decide that they're going to go back, and the Admiral Byrd, he says, U.S. must prepare itself for attacks from Antarctica. Why would the Admiral say that? It's like so strange.
So maybe he's talking about like could have been UFOs because that's what the Chilean newspapers claimed. Could there also be a secret Nazi encampment, and that's where that U-boat came from, and maybe that's what they were fighting?
So next, they plan on going back, and the next time it's called Code Name uh, Windmill, and this is in
Mm-hmm.
April 1948. And so they go there, and same sort of thing. They head back, and so then they forget about it for a whole decade, and they launched 3 nuclear strikes on the Antarctica.
Which I guess they must have said were tests.
Yeah, they said it was just we're just testing them, killing all
Seems
the polar
excessive
bears.
though. Yeah,
Um,
3 nuclear bombs.
So, fast forward all the way to 1991, Soviets, yeah, Back to the
Yeah,
Future.
Back to the
Um,
Future.
so, Soviet reports different versions of Operation High Jump, because I guess they're in the north, the KGB were interviewing sailors at the time, and the sailor said that unknown hostile powers, unknown aircraft, have been attacked and just been all around that sort of area. And this is where I'm going to make the tag to you.
So we have this 1991 Soviet intelligence report, and it's got all kinds of details. Okay, so witnesses testified because they interviewed a bunch of sailors. I mean, maybe they had spies in the operation. It was a big operation, Operation High Jump, and the other one there, Operation Windmill. So there's witnesses that testified seeing 5 flying saucers or saucer-shaped aircraft that were attacking the U.S. forces. Okay, the U.S. forces had numerous ships on this thing. I think it was 13 vessels. So this is a pretty big force going out to Antarctica to just do tests, right? Seems a bit suspicious. So yeah, apparently there was this battle that happened. An anti-aircraft gun from one of the U.S. The big battleships actually fired and hit one of the saucers. The saucer went like spinning out into the water and exploded. So that was reported to happen. Also, reportedly the USS Maddox, which was one of the ships. No. The USS Maddox had been destroyed by a fire that everybody on board died, and the ship apparently sunk. Now, the thing with this report is there are people who have counter arguments to it and say that some of it seems a bit fishy. The Americans say that there was no USS Maddox in the attack. That was a ship that was actually sunk in an attack on Italy during the war. So they claim that that couldn't have been destroyed in Antarctica. That could be a cover-up, though, right? It's very difficult to cover up an entire battleship being destroyed and all the crew members dying. You have to tell their families, all this stuff, right? But maybe they claimed it was destroyed in Italy a couple years earlier, but maybe it wasn't destroyed and they actually kept the crew secret, and then it was destroyed in this Operation High Jump. Who knows? So now so the Americans retreat, and the KGB, the 1991 Soviet report, claims that the nukes were used to destroy some kind of sinister enemy that had attacked the United States in Antarctica twice. So the first time Operation High Jump, and they had to retreat. They went back and tried to fight them again, had to retreat again, and finally just dropped 3 nukes 10 years later. The KGB, their report says that that's just clearly their last ditch effort to destroy whatever this force is. If it's UFOs, if it's some kind of Nazi enclave, if it's a combination of the two, maybe it's some kind of Nazi technology to use flying saucers. I don't know why they would have only used them in Antarctica. Who knows? Maybe that's just where they built them or something.
Which is interesting because it seems that the Nazis were trying to develop flying saucer of their own.
There is reports of that. There's lots.
Not using alien technology though, using
just
German ingenuity.
Yeah, there's lots of secret Nazi intelligence laboratories and factories that they uncovered after the war. And remember that during the war, the States was actually scared that the Nazis were trying to develop the atom bomb. Turns out that they weren't, but they were trying to develop different weapons, which we can go into later. I found some reports on some of the things that they were trying to build, that there's actually
so they actually found swastikas and stuff in the north, and they found bases and stuff, right?
In Antarctica?
Yeah. They found
things that are south.
Oh yes, south. Africa. What? The Pata.
Antarctica. Arctic is north. That's where Santa Claus lives, allegedly. But Antarctica, who knows?
Where Santa Claus lives.
Maybe it's where Nazi spaceships exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, they found craft with swastikas. They found I think some ruins of potential laboratories. And I mean the first story that we told, that report of that ship encountering a German U-boat, means that there must have been somewhere for that boat to refuel or be living.
Yeah, how are you? That's a very, very good point, because how are you keeping that U-boat in operation
for 2 years?
Yeah, for 2 years.
Yeah,
there's got to be a way to refuel it and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I don't believe that it would have been a mission from Germany after the war, when all of the Allies were watching Germany and decommissioning Germany and splitting it, into East and West Germany. There's no way that a U-boat would have just went missing.
What about that ship that got that UFO that got shot down? There could be a UFO under the water.
A frozen UFO. A Frozo. A UF0.
FROFO.
A FROFO. An unidentified frozen object.
Yes.
Could you imagine?
We should trademark that word, FROFOs. That's ours.
FROFOs?
They're coming after you if you use it.
UFOs. Yes. UFOs.
So interesting though. So we're talking about UFOs versus the military, and so we're gonna go a little bit further. The Korean War. So at this time, everyone was worried that this is the start of the Cold War, and everyone was worried that Russia was going to get involved in the Korean War, and so the U.S. And their allies did really well uh, to really uh, shut down the. Was it South Korea? Is the bad one? South Korea or North Korea?
North Korea's the bad one. South
Yeah,
Korea
North Korea is really shutting down North Korea. If they just shut down South Korea, they're like, "Oh, sorry, wrong guys, sorry." But so they really shut down North Korea and they hemmed them right in, and they're right there up in this one town, and they're destroying the town. They're just they evacuated it first, and they're just raining hellfire on this one town, and out of nowhere comes this disc-shaped object, and it's emitting this red glow, and they're watching as all these bombs are hitting the town, and it's kind of dodging all the different, it's just making it, you know. So they're watching. The soldiers are watching as this is happening, and quickly, the attention of the UFO turns to them, and so it's paying attention to them. So they start firing on the thing, and they can hear ping, 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 and just like they're making an effect on it. Um, and then all of a sudden, it starts raining down a heat sort of signature on them, like intense blue light, and it's like this. And so they go under the bunkers, uh, and then it emits this gigantic sort of light. Then all of a sudden it's daytime for a second, and then it takes off. And afterwards, um, they've all got radiation poisoning.
Whoa.
And this one guy, he goes back to the United States, and he can't get his weight back up to normal for the rest of his life. He's underweight, and just I'm sure it took a little bit of time off their lives.
I mean, what would have been the official story of what happened? Like, did they even try to cover it up? What did they even say?
Well, they were. This happened. This all came out years later, in
Right.
the people when they're older, right?
Yeah.
They were all told not to speak of this ever again, and
It's kind of hard to hide the fact that you have radiation poisoning your whole life, though.
yeah. So you'd be like, "Yeah, I'm sick and whatever," right? You know, and you know why you have it, so that's even worse.
Now, do you think that was the enemy had UFO technology, or was that aliens getting involved in the Korean War?
So that goes into the Cold War. Um, they thought maybe Russia had developed some technology, and they were actually controlling the spaceships. But later, when Gorbachev and Reagan met, they both exchanged stories on stuff like that, and so I guess the UFOs were kind of playing them against each other because they both thought it was.
What I was going to say is maybe it is just a third entity, like it could be aliens or some other force that's testing the UFO's weapons, because the best time to go and test weapons, if you have like UFOs, right, would be in the middle of like a war zone, because then you can just blame any of the devastation on the war, right? Instead of just like if they just went and tested the weapons on some town somewhere, like it would look really suspicious.
But also, it is a great way to go undetected because there's already a commotion.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like now we can kind of get involved and not be so noticeable.
Interesting. Are aliens using our wars to test their weapons? Could be. Look out, soldiers. You never know what you're going to encounter. That's the thing.
As they say, aliens are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
And with that, I'm going to smell this chocolate again. Remember, people, get yourself some chocolate and smell it constantly to make sure you don't have COVID.
You know,
You never know.
that would be a good way to lose weight.
To just smell chocolate?
Yeah, just like, there's no calories in smelling. Like, instead of like, you're like,
You know how hard it is for me to not eat this chocolate right now? It's taking every ounce of my willpower. Okay. So,
guys, do you think that he's going to eat this by the end of the show? That's the question.
I mean, I have other chocolate. Do you think if you just kept smelling chocolate that you would somehow use up the smell of the chocolate?
Depends how long. Like, I could keep it for years, yeah.
But
it would be taking away the essence by smelling
it. Essence of chocolate smell. Okay, we've got more. I've got more stories. So, little behind the scenes.
I have another really good one as well.
Okay, but let's intersperse them. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let some of the viewers in on the secrets behind the scenes of how this show is created. So, we come up with an idea, and Aaron was like, "Man, let's do UFOs in the military. It's such a good topic. You should do some research on that." And I started to, but then I got obsessed with Nazis and the occult. So
he is obsessed with that kind of stuff.
Well, the one video led to another. You know how YouTube is, okay? But did you know that during
one thing led to another? You know how it is.
With YouTube, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
So during World War II, Nazis were building 7 secret structures in Poland.
Wait. Before you do that, hold on.
Yeah.
I want to show everyone something. If we have breaking news on our show, guess what we can do?
You got it. All right.
How is that not awesome?
For breaking news that people really want to hear about right away, it really takes a long time to play that clip.
It's like, oh, everyone else released their news.
It's like breaking news. Dun, dun, dun.
But how awesome is that?
It's pretty cool. All right.
Yeah. We could have used that when we revealed that ghost a couple weeks ago.
So next time, people, when you got breaking news, boom, hit them. What if I just did that? Breaking news. Okay, I want to tell you about these Nazis.
I am pinching your head. Remember that? I'm pinching your head.
Okay, Nazis. They built 7 secret buildings in Poland. Okay, this is during the war. All of them were connected with tunnels. Okay, and a lot of them were laboratories, and people didn't know what they were doing in them. Now, have you ever heard of Henge? It was also called the Ikwaka.
Oh.
So it was this super weapon that the Nazis they had all these drawings about it too. And it was apparently this giant bell. I think Henge
yes.
The bell.
Okay, that was it. Yeah,
the bell, yeah.
The bell.
It was like 8 or 9 feet tall. It was like this huge round bell. And it was filled with this substance called serum or curum 525, and it was apparently this like mysterious substance that they had created that was like this crazy poison, and there was like 2 kind of cylinders inside that would like mix this poison and then it would emit it. And there's different reports, like some say it could emit it for a 200-mile or 200-meter radius, some said 450-meter death zone, because everything in this radius when the bell is activated would apparently like animals' fur would like crystallize, and like people's blood would just congeal, and plants would just like decompose and rot. Yeah, it was supposed to be like some kind of crazy death gas. Yeah, but they never used it, I guess, during the war, and people don't even know if they built it.
Well, I don't think it was fully operational then, right?
It could be in storage somewhere. You never know. Maybe it's in Antarctica. So we got that. Now, there's also they were also doing other things too, like they were
I
doing.
always worry when you laugh like that, you know?
Well, okay, there's weird stuff too. So there was this part of the Nazi. There was this group within the Nazis called the Annan-Abba, and they were actually like these kind of occult wizards. And 1943, Wolfram Sievers was the head of this experimental branch of Nazi military. They were testing drugs on concentration camp prisoners. Their goal was to create a Nazi super soldier, but also
Straight out of Marvel Comics, man.
yeah, and also to raise the dead. And some people think that the it was called the Ubermensch. It was like their program for the super soldier. Some people think what they were trying to do was create like a zombie army where when German soldiers died, they would return as Ubermensch and they would actually be like stronger as like zombie soldiers. So that's some spooky, crazy stuff right there.
Oh, is that how zombies are in Call of Duty? Is that how they did it?
I think that actually, I think that game was probably based on that kind of stuff. If any viewers play Call of Duty, like send us a line. You know, if you like to do this.
We are doing a lot of shooting in today's episode. I don't know what is going on with us. We got trigger happy.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the high five. You ready for that?
Oh, shot my hand, you son of a. All right. So for the next one, I kind of need my phone. Gonna call somebody here. No, I'm not calling him. He's just gonna smell stuff. So there was a deadly encounter. The CIA documents, and this is released by the CIA. The CIA documents claim Russian soldiers were turned to stone after a shootout with aliens in Siberia.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When did this happen? When was this?
So I'll just read the story. The top secret CIA report claims the troop of Russian soldiers gunned down a UFO only to be turned into stone by the surviving aliens. The classified document includes allegations from 23 soldiers were killed by 5 aliens from the flying saucer after a deadly encounter in Siberia in 1993. So the document, which can be found at the official CIA website, is a translation of a report from a Ukrainian newspaper. The newspaper reports of a 250-page KGB dossier on the UFO attack, which includes pictures and witness testimonies. The report stated that flying saucer had appeared over military unit training in Siberia. One of the soldiers is then said to have taken down with a surface-to-air missile. It said 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes came out. Just 2 soldiers are said to have survived the encounter. The report claims 5 beings emerged from the crashed craft and then joined together to form a ball of light, which then exploded, turning 23 soldiers into stone.
Whoa.
The report reads, the KGB report goes on to say that the remains of the petrified soldiers were transferred to a secret research institute near Moscow. Specialists assume that a source of energy still unknown to Earthlings instantly changed the structure of the soldiers' living organisms, having transformed into a substance whose molecular structure was no different to limestone. So, according to UFO website and YouTube channel Lions Ground, you have to be careful about what the CIA publishes online, as it could be misinformation on purpose.
Right.
So, I don't know why the CIA would want to release that kind of information. to misguide anyone, because that's scary.
That's a crazy story. What's I find very strange is that the five beings joined together to create a giant ball of light,
And then an explosion that turned them.
almost like a Power Rangers or something.
It's like, let's form Stonemaker.
Seems crazy. So like nobody's
a shot.
so everybody was turned to stone. Nobody survived this.
Two survivors.
Two survivors. Huh. Okay. What do you think of this?
I actually came across this the other day. I was watching TV as I was falling asleep, and I tried to stay awake and watch most of it, but I fell asleep. They were doing experiments on how to rapidly turn things into stone, and there's different ways they could do it, but nothing was instant. It usually involves time and different stuff.
You can turn things to stone,
Yeah, over time.
like petrify things, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But c'est la vie.
Yeah, that's an outlandish, insane story. Another encounter with a UFO. Very on topic. Good for you finding that story that's on topic with all the other stories in our show today. So on that note, for my next story, okay, I know how you told me I should research some UFO versus the military stuff, and I was doing that, but then I started watching this other video that was really crazy about. Okay, I got to tell you about this. Have you ever heard of Operation Cone of Power?
That sounds like another Power Rangers thing.
This is super crazy. Okay, so during World War II, you know how I was just watching videos about World War II and paranormal stuff. So you know how in World War II, France got taken over by Germany,
Yep.
right? And then around that time, Britain gets really terrified that Germany's going to push forward and take over Britain, right? Like they were terrified. Now, there was actually a group of witches that lived in Britain, and they were called the Operation Cone of Power.
Oh, I thought they were britches.
No, witches, like
Yeah,
magic
I thought they would be
witches.
because they're British.
British witches.
Britches.
Yeah, we got britches.
We were out of room, right?
So they were actually like building a magical defense against the German invasion. And what they were doing is they had a fire and they would make ruins and do these magical spells, and they were creating a magical siege into Hitler's mind. And what they were doing is they were using a spell that would go into Hitler's mind. It was called the Cone of Power spell. And what the spell would do is mind control him and tell him that he could invade Britain. They were trying to plant the idea in his mind that it would be impossible for him to cross the sea. Okay?
This is a Jedi mind trick.
It's a giant Jedi mind trick.
Yes, these are not the drones you're looking for. Right?
You cannot cross the sea. And then he would wake up and be like, oh my God, I can't do this. And then he would not actually try to invade. It was 17 witches doing this. They claimed that this was the same spell that had been used hundreds of years earlier in 1588 when Philip II was trying to invade Britain from Spain, and he was stopped because he called off his own invasion. And these witches claim that the reason he called off his invasion is because of this spell was successful. And apparently they also used it during
aliens in this. Now we got some satanic spells going on here.
Magic witches, yeah.
Yeah.
The Cone of Power.
Getting right into the occult to stop an invasion.
Now, these witches, this was not without sacrifice. 2 of them died because they drained their power so much by doing this spell that it actually drained them and they died. And Germany never invaded Britain, so the spell apparently worked. Whoa.
That's almost as bad as the stone one.
We got some pretty outlandish stories today, but we come with the best here. I think it's pretty crazy.
And now a guy 2 died because their powers were drained so bad. Wow.
I think it's interesting that there's this secret secret occult war that's happening at the same time as the World War II. There's like all these witches doing things to each other, and like did you know that Heinrich Himmler was actually looking for the Holy Grail?
So, Indiana Jones isn't far off then.
Yeah, same thing Indiana Jones is trying to do. So this is actually true. British spies actually stole some maps from Heinrich Himmler when he was near Spain, and he was visiting this mountain range and this monastery called, it was near Barcelona. It was called Santa Maria de Montserrat, and it's apparently where the Grail is hidden in the mountains somewhere. There's like some passages or something. Now, Heinrich Himmler was convinced that, well, the story behind the Holy Grail is that like it was the cup that Jesus used in the Last Supper, and it's supposed to have magical powers. Heinrich Himmler and the Nazis, they actually changed the story.
This is Hitler's brother? Is that what you're saying?
Heinrich Himmler.
Oh, this is Heinrich Hitler.
No, Heinrich Himmler.
It's Hitler's brother.
I don't think he invented the Heimlich maneuver.
No,
Right.
it was his brother.
Different guy. Yeah, it was his brother. But he was convinced that if he found the Holy Grail, it would give him magical powers and that he'd be able to win the war. Now he didn't find it. He didn't find it.
Well,
did he?
You think it would have been them who sold their soul to the devil instead of the British.
But here's the thing: is they thought, and obviously this is wrong, but the Nazis thought that Jesus was Aryan, which is like a race of people that they believed were like super powerful or something, but they're also just kind of racist, and that like he was part of some kind of like Aryan god, like weird occult stuff, and it was this kind of like different history that the Nazis believed in. They kind of had like this.
They thought they were the good guys, right?
Oh, of course they thought they were the good guys, even though they were massacring like millions of people.
They were the good. They thought God was on their side.
It's true. It's true. So if you're out there right now and you're killing millions of people in concentration camps and running like Holocaust, and you think you're the good guy, well, we got news for you. You're not the good guy.
And also, we'd love to have you on our show to talk about all the stuff you did.
Would we have that person on our show? I'm not having that person on the show. No way.
Well, we'd be breaking news. We get to push that button again, right?
We could definitely push that button. And
we got the breaking news. We got the beep beep beep. Oh man, how many finger shots have we done today?
This is the most finger shot episode we've ever had.
We should change it to the finger shot episode.
Just wrestling with finger shots. That's what I would do. If I was a wrestler, my thing like getting in the ring, I would just start going like to the audience and stuff, and people would love it.
And when he's trying to attack you, you're running the other way, still shooting him.
Like shooting guns at him.
Don't let him touch you. It's going to keep shooting.
Yeah.
And you like shoot by you. You're running.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
All right, we got anything else? We got some more crazy World War II stories.
I'm fresh out of stories, but tell me.
We should have
growing up.
7 minutes now. Okay, growing up, yeah.
Who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
This is way off topic.
Well, this is wrestling with the paranormal. We gotta have something wrestling, right?
Yeah, all right. Okay, well, I think I mentioned this on the show before. For some reason, because this isn't who I would pick now that I'm older, but I really liked the Ultimate Warrior when I was a kid, which is ridiculous because he wasn't a good wrestler. And he didn't even have good promos. Like, he was always just like, and like not even making any sense. And now I would probably pick Macho Man because I think Macho Man does the best promos in all of wrestling history.
And he's a hell of an athlete too, right?
He's an amazing athlete, yeah. And he had his good matches. Like, he literally had like really amazing matches.
That Ricky Steamboat match, WrestleMania 3. Wow. We talked about that today on the show on Just Another Fifth podcast.
I mean, I liked Blue Blazer a lot.
Well, it's Owen Hart. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, I liked Owen Hart as well, but I think Blue Blazer, I thought that he wrestled. It was like a really cool wrestling style. I love the way that he jumped through the tube. Um, the two top ropes, like jump right through them. That was amazing.
He had the same moves as Owen Hart.
Yeah, but he just looked cooler in a blue blazer costume.
Yeah, but he lost every match.
I don't know. Sometimes I like the underdog. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Okay, so from the start, it was Hulk Hogan, and just like I said, just like you said, it's not who I would pick now.
Mhm.
And I always go Bret Hart and Owen Hart. Usually Bret first, and Owen just right behind him. Gotta support
Support.
gotta support the boys from Canada.
Where's that?
Support.
Support.
Buy a shirt, support us.
We're based out of Minnesota, Fargo, Minnesota. Don't you know?
If Mike Tyson was hosting, you gotta support us.
Wow.
That's funny. Yeah.
I also like Rowdy Piper.
Well, I
I
feel
don't know
like
why.
you being from Winnipeg, not liking Roddy Piper, that'd be a crime.
And my uncle went to school with him, so I always thought that was cool.
And you got to appreciate Chris Jericho being from Winnipeg too, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't as into wrestling during the time Chris Jericho was wrestling. So yeah, I didn't see him wrestle a lot. Yeah.
But
I mean, The Rock was pretty good too. Like he did a lot for wrestling, and he was like pretty good at promoting and had a good stage presence.
Mhm. So who do you think is a better actor, John Cena or The Rock?
I think The Rock. I think The Rock is a pretty legit actor.
Have you seen anything with Cena in it?
Yeah, I saw the Suicide Squad. I saw, he's in one of the Fast and Furious movies, I think, right? I think I saw one of those.
I don't know. That's
Maybe I'm wrong.
yeah.
I could be wrong.
But I feel Cena plays a really good secondary character,
Mhm.
but I don't want him as the main character. Whereas The Rock could be a main character in any movie he's in, right?
Yeah. And The Rock's really funny, too.
We're really off topic here, but let's keep going. What about Batista?
I watched the zombie movie where he's the main character, and he can't carry a movie. Like, it's not interesting enough.
So he's fine as Dax the Destroyer, right?
Yeah, he's a good bad guy. He's a good Drax. He's a good, like, secondary character.
I said Dax. I'm way off today.
Drax.
Drax.
He was a bad guy in a James Bond movie, Casino Royale, maybe. And he was a really good bad guy. But yeah, I don't know his personality.
I didn't mind him in that comedy movie where he was with the sidekick.
Oh, the Schmuck or Snoop or something.
I don't know
like
what it was entertaining as long as it was a comedy.
Yeah.
You know, he's playing the action comedy sort of thing. I didn't mind that.
Wait, isn't Batista from MMA?
No, he's
He was a wrestler?
wrestling.
What was his name when he was wrestling?
Batista.
Batista. Oh.
Okay, his acting name is Dave Batista.
And his wrestling name was Batista.
Just Batista.
Weird. That's wild, man.
But he was the animal Batista. So.
Oh, there you go. The Animal. Actually, Animal was. Do you remember Animal? Like the
George
80s
the Animal Steel? Or
George the Animal Steel used to eat turnbuckle. That's pretty cool. That's a good gimmick.
And one of the Road Warriors was Animal.
Really? It was the same
Animal
guy? Hawk was Animal?
No, George the Animal Steel.
Yeah.
And he was called Animal, not the Animal.
Oh, so there was two animals in WWF at the same time.
Yeah. Well, he was Road Warriors at the time were more AWA and NWA, and they were George the Animals in WWF. So.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Shawn Michaels was a pretty good wrestler too.
Not a fan of Shawn Michaels. We don't appreciate it. No, I don't like his backstage antics. Always,
Not a good
he
guy.
was he was really trying to take everyone down so he could be a star. So and I don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's about team. It's about a team effort. You know.
Yeah, and that's why me and you, we make such a great team.
Yeah. Yeah. We do make a great team. We should be a tag team. We should be a tag team podcast. If there's podcast competitions, we should be a tag team.
Well, as long as we don't go against my other podcasts, that'd be tough.
You'd have to be versus yourself somehow.
Yeah, I know, but which side of me would win, the enlightened one or Canada's Dry? Right?
Whoa. Nobody ever did that in wrestling, like fight themselves. I guess the Undertaker did that.
It never goes over well.
No, it doesn't really work. It's kind of hokey.
Unless you're actually fighting yourself and beating yourself up.
That'd be a weird match.
Just
Wow. That'd be weird.
But it was. This is the first good episode back after the break.
Yeah, maybe this is our new format. Maybe we talk about paranormal stuff and then we just start talking about wrestling. Who knows?
Or anything.
Anything. We can talk about anything. Just who knows what's going to happen.
You know, like what's your favorite kind of grapes?
Favorite kind of grape? Grapes. Grapes are my favorite grapes.
No, you like the green grapes? Or you like the purple grapes?
Purple.
Is it the color of the grapes?
Green grapes are sour. They're more sour.
So it's not just the color; it's the taste.
The taste is different. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you get the big ones, you know, like the really plump ones. They cost more money. Plump costs money. Remember that, folks. Plump.
Remember to keep smelling your chocolate. Because
That should be out
wait,
of
do I have COVID? Wait a minute. Okay, for a second I couldn't smell it, but I'm okay.
Okay, we cannot end this show without you eating that chocolate.
You want me to eat the chocolate on live
On live TV.
On live TV. I'm going to eat this chocolate. It's a weird, it's like a weird wrapped up little.
Oh, it's one of those guys.
Snowman chocolate, milk chocolate. Okay, here I go. Oh my God, it smells good. Wow. That is fantastic.
Can you taste it?
I can taste it. I don't have COVID. I can taste chocolate right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you rating that chocolate?
It's a 9.5.
Really?
Yeah.
I was looking
It's
at that
amazing.
snowman, and I'm thinking it's like hitting like a 4 or something, but you're going up to a 9.
I'm just enjoying it right in this moment. I'm like, this is really good. I guess if you gave me a Lindor chocolate, I'd be like, well,
You spit that one out. Oh, I'm not eating that.
get this out of here.
But yeah. We're just yabbering on about nothing, but that's okay because, it's just about good, enjoyable conversation.
First show of the year. We just nailed it right out of the park.
Oh, man. You know what I'm going to do before I end the show?
Okay, you are going to wrap up the show, but before you wrap up the show,
I'm going to turn the hat around because that means I'm ready for business.
all right. Where can people get t-shirts?
I'm just going to kick you off the show for a second, if you don't mind. I'm going to talk to the audience by myself.
Okay, go for it.
I'll bring you back before it's over. You know, that guy, who does he get off? Who the hell does he think he is? Like, he's eating chocolate, doesn't even offer me one. That son of Hey, Craig, how are you?
I'm doing great. I really wonder what you talk to the audience about because
Don't worry about
I have
that.
no idea.
I was just telling them where they can get the t-shirts, Effin Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Tees /Effin Wrestling. And go to our website, effinwrestling.com, and you can see all our shows, Effin Podcast, just another podcast with this there as well. And you can hit all our social media for Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
Don't bother subscribing to YouTube. We don't care anymore. If you already have subscribed, that's great, but it doesn't really matter. We're not. Last year we were all about hitting 1,000 subscribers, and this year we're like, whatever, man. Doesn't matter.
No, wait.
It's all cool. It's all
No,
cool.
we need subscribers, Craig.
Oh, I thought they would change the way things work this year.
No. We still need to climb the subscriber ladder.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, like and subscribe, and you know the drill.
Tell you what Craig is going to do. He's going to send a chocolate to every person from here on for the rest of the month that subscribes. He'll
Oh yeah.
send him your address, and he'll send you a chocolate.
Send me your address and your credit card number, and I'll absolutely send you a chocolate. 100%. I will send you a chocolate. No questions asked.
Are we still gonna give them the holy T-shirts? Are we gonna pray over them still?
And we're going to pray over T-shirts. And I will even wear your T-shirt, eat a chocolate, and pray while eating a chocolate.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's it for today. It's been a great episode. Craig, what did you learn? What did you like? Every episode has to have like Transformers and like He-Man at
Like
the
a
end.
little lesson.
Yeah, did you learn
I
anything?
think we learned that, even if you think you're the good guy, maybe you should check with your friends, because you might not be the good guy. You might be an evil dictator trying to take over the world. Just really check.
You know why? Because learning is power.
Learning is power.